Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today we're going to be doing a Crooked Cook Exodia deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck was actually suggested to me by one of my patrons, Izzy. And this deck is a hilarious deck to be able to win with because basically what you do with this deck is summon out your copy of Crooked Cook and wait it out until you can draw your copies of Exodia because Crooked Cook is pretty much immortal, which is absolutely insane. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Again, your name, description, every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. And definitely give Izzy some love down in the comments down below for suggesting such an awesome deck. So let's get straight on into this one, guys. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Buzzsaw Shark. This card is the best normal summon in the entire deck, because this card is going to help you make your copy of Crooked Cook by just summoning this card out to your side of the field. It has the ability to target a water monster that you control to special summon from your deck and defense position one fish monster with the same level as that monster but with a different name. And if you do, it cannot activate its effects this turn. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extract for the rest of the turn except XZ monsters, which is totally fine because that's all we're summoning anyways. But the cool thing about this card is you can actually target itself for that ability to be able to special summon out your copy of Right Hand Shark directly from your deck, which is amazing to be able to do because your copy of Right Hand Shark is going to pretty much make your copy of Crooked Cook immortal, which is absolutely insane because this card has the ability that if this card is used for the XZ summon of a monster, it has the ability that that monster cannot be destroyed by battle, which is absolutely crazy. And that's super easy to be able to do to basically just make it so your Crooked Cook, the only way the opponent's going to be able to out it is by kaijuing it, which is absolutely crazy, or summoning out a monster that does piercing damage to swing into it because it only has 200 defense points. But this card also has a great ability that if you don't control a monster and this card's in the graveyard, you can special summon this card, which is a great ability just to be able to get this card back on your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Batooniful Princess. Batooniful Princess is a definite 3-of in the build because this card lets you summon out your copy of Buzzsaw Shark directly from your deck, because this card is basically the Lone Fire Blossom of the deck, that when this card is normal or special summoned, you can banish this card to be able to special summon a level 4 or lower fish type monster from your deck, basically summoning out your copy of Buzzsaw so you can use its ability to summon Right Hand and then make Crooked Cook. We then play 3 copies of Astral Karibo. Astral Karibo is a definite 3-of in the deck. This card basically is additional copies of Right Hand Shark because it has the ability that you can reveal a number XZ monster in your extract to be able to special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, this card's level becomes the revealed monster's rank, which you're always going to reveal your copy of Crooked Cook for this card's ability, so it's going to come out as a level 4 monster so you can make a rank 4 play. It says also, while this card is faced in the monster zone, you cannot special summon monsters in the extract except number XZ monsters, which is totally fine because you're usually just summoning Crooked Cook from the extract anyways. Also has the ability that a number XZ monster that was summoned using this card on the field as a material gains the ability cannot be destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect, which is why we play this card as a 3-of in the build with your copy of Right Hand Shark, so that your copy of Crooked Cook cannot be destroyed by battle, which is just really, really nice. We then play a single copy of each piece of Exodia, starting with Exodia, the Forbidden One, 1 copy of a Right Arm of the Forbidden One, a single copy of Left Arm of the Forbidden One, 1 copy of Right Leg of the Forbidden One, and a single copy of the Left Leg of the Forbidden One. The reason we're playing these cards at 1 each is because we're trying to draw them out to be able to basically win the duel, and being able to summon Crooked Cook and face up a defense position, and it not being affected by anything, and not being able to destroy by battle if you use Right Hand or Astral Karibo to make it, is just absolutely crazy. It makes it super easy that if your opponent's not playing the out for your copy of Crooked Cook, you're probably going to win the duel. We then play 2 copies of Gameciel. Gameciel is amazing to be able to play in the deck as a 2-of. You probably could play this card as a 3-of in the deck, but it's amazing to be able to just give your opponent the turtle, because sometimes you do need to get over a monster that's doing piercing damage to you, and this card is really good to keep in your hand so that you can basically just tribute over an opponent's monster and give them basically a turtle that they're going to just basically lose their boss monster from, which is really good. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. We have plenty of room for hand traps in the deck, which is why we're playing the 3 copies of Ash Blossom, just to stop our opponent in their tracks so they don't establish a crazy powerful board. We then play a single copy of Effect Veiler because we're also playing Crossout Designator in the deck, because we don't want to get Effect Veiler when we summon out our copy of Buzzsaw, and we don't want to get Infinite Impermanence when we summon out the copy of Buzzsaw, which is why we're also playing Imperm to be able to stop with our Crossout Designator. And Ash Blossom really hurts a lot in this deck as well, which is why we're playing 3 copies of Crossout Designator in the spell lineup. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is really good in this deck to be able to send your copy of Right Hand Shark to the graveyard so you can use its ability to bring it back from the grave to your side of the field. We then play a single copy of One for One. One for One is really good to summon out Batunaful Princess from the deck so that you can basically just summon out your copy of Buzzsaw and go in for your copy of Crooked Cook. We then play a single copy of a really awesome tech card and I absolutely love in this deck, and that's going to be a single copy of Final Countdown. This is an alternative win condition that's just absolutely insane and hilarious. You pay 2,000 life points, and after 20 turns have passed after you activated this card, you basically win the duel. That's absolutely crazy to be able to do, and I love when you actually pull this card off because you're either going to draw Exodia or you're going to use this and you're going to win the duel, which is just really funny to me. But I absolutely love activating Final Countdown and resolving this card because it actually will win you games being able to use this card, but you only play it at 1 because it's currently at 1. We then play a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is great so that we don't get hand trapped, or we can prevent hand traps by using this card. We then play 3 copies of Crossout Designator. Crossout Designator is really important as a 3-of in the deck to basically just stop hand traps like Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, and even Imperm that might be used against us when we summon out our copy of Buzzsaw so that we can guarantee to be able to get our copy of Crooked Cook out on our side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More. If we do go second, this card basically just turns off our opponent's board, and we're not worried about doing damage anyways. We're basically just using this card to stop our opponent's field in case they establish a crazy field going first. We can turn off their field, make a copy of Crooked Cook, and then pass over to the opponent, which is why I really like playing Dark Ruler No More in this deck, because it's a really powerful 3-of to basically just turn our opponent's turn off, or turn off their field, and then basically make a copy of Crooked Cook, which is just really, really important for the deck. We then play 3 copies of the Map. Map is really good in this deck as a 3-of because it can search out our copy of Batunaful Princess because it is a level 1 monster that is basically 0 attack, which is really good to be able to do. I absolutely love adding that card from deck to hand. All of this card's ability just to be able to go in for all sorts of amazing plays, because being able to search this card is basically additional copies of Buzzsaw, which is just really, really good. I love that about this card, and it just makes it very easy to win games. Plus, paying half your life points is not that big of a deal in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Pot of Prosperity is really good in the deck as a 3-of because we really don't care about the extract all that much. And when you get down to needing 1 copy of an Exodia piece, you can use this, dig 6 into the deck, and then add the piece that you need to your hand so you win the game. Plus, it's just really good to dig 6 into the deck to make sure you're going to have a copy of Buzzsaw or Astral Kribo or any normal summon to be able to basically make your copy of Crooked Cook so that you can win the game. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing a single trap, and that's going to be 1 copy of Infinite Impermanence. Impermanence is really good in the deck as a 1-of to be able to use with your copy of Crossout Designator just to make sure that your opponent's not going to hit your copy of Buzzsaw Shark with the copy of Imperm. So this card is basically just a Crossout Designator target, which is why we're playing this card as a 1-of in the build. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're basically just going to be playing 3 copies of Crooked Cook. This card is the most important card in the entire extra deck, and basically everything else is just toolbox. This card is extremely powerful and is the only card you're ever really going to summon from the extra deck because it has the ability that while you control no other cards and there are no other cards on your side of the field, this card is unaffected by other card effects, which is insane to be able to put this card on your side of the field and then put a copy of either Right Hand or Astral Kribo under this card, making it so that basically it's immortal. It can't be destroyed by battle and it's unaffected by everything, which is just absolutely insane. It also has the ability once per turn, during either player's turn, then you can detach a material from this card to destroy as many other cards that you control as possible. Then this card gains 300 attack until the end of the turn for each monster destroyed by this card's effect and was sent to the graveyard, which is a really cool ability to be able to use this card just in case you need to board wipe to make sure this card is basically immortal, because if you activate anything or put anything on the field, it does turn your copy of Crooked Cook off, so you can use its ability to destroy everything on the field that's on your side, which is just really, really good. We then play a single copy of Time Thief Redoer. I do play this card as a one-of just in case you want to make this card and basically eat cards off the top of your opponent's deck so you can mill them out faster, which is just hilarious because being able to mill your opponent is actually a strategy for this deck. You either draw Exodia, mill your opponent out, or final countdown them to win, which is hilarious that we actually play two different win conditions in this deck, plus being able to mill your opponent out is just really funny. But this card is actually a really cool thing to be able to do because it basically attaches material off the top of your opponent's deck to this card, which is really insane. Being able to eat a card off the top of your opponent's deck during the standby phase is actually pretty good about this card, plus it can run away, getting itself off the field to turn your copy of Crooked Cook back on. We then play a new copy of Tornado Dragon to be able to pop spells and traps, just in case our opponent floodgates us. You can make this card and pop spells and traps. One copy of Exodia Knight. It's a good board wipe, and it's just really good overall in the deck. One copy of Number 4. Number 4 is a great pop to be able to use during time, just in case you need to. This card does help out a lot because it does do burn damage, which is why we're playing it as one of in the deck. We then play a single copy of Sea Stealth, or Stealth Krajan Spawn. Stealth Krajan Spawn is really good to be able to combo with our Number 4, which is why we're playing this card as a one of. We play a single copy of Degusto Emerald. This is just in case our opponent mills one of our Exodia pieces to the graveyard. We can use this card to be able to target 3 monsters in the grave, shuffle those 3 cards into the deck, and then draw a card, which can be really powerful to be able to do. Basically just putting back our Exodia pieces and then drawing them out, which is just really important. Play a single copy of Abyss Dweller to lock down graveyard. Sometimes this is actually an FTK, depending on the deck you're playing against. This card can be really good in certain situations. Play a single copy of Bahamut Shark and a single copy of Totally Awesome. These cards are really good in the deck as one each because they are super powerful to be able to establish basically a negate on your side of the field, just in case you need to. One copy of Sky Crisis. This card is really good as a one-of in the deck. And then we play 2 copies of Double A Zeus. Double A Zeus is just in here because it is pretty much just an XZ deck. So it's really good to be able to make this card just in case to board wipe the field before you summon out your copy of Crooked Cook. It does come up every so often, but it is a good option because again, besides your copies of Crooked Cook, the extra deck is totally toolbox. So you can include pretty much anything you want in the extra deck past this point. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. This deck is hilarious to be able to play. If you guys have never played Crooked Cook Exodia, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's a really hilarious deck to be able to play. To basically just throw Crooked Cook in defense position and wait it out to draw Exodia, or final countdown your opponent, which is just really fun. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there, soon come part of Notification Squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.